Hello, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to teach you how to master part 5. Just like this man here, he has his technique mastered. The focus of today is to get this mastery of this quite difficult part of the exam, so stick with me. As I said in my last video, I love to go off track a little bit and give a few language tips. You will see in the background quite a nice location, but in fact I do not live here. And you will see on the left a picture of a surfer, a very talented surfer. Now, I love surfing, but I don't surf like that. I wish I could surf like that, and I wish I lived in this location, but I don't. Now, that is a nice little B2 grammar point to impress the examiners. I wish plus past simple to talk about something imaginary that you would like, but is not very probable, not very possible. I wish I could live here. I wish I could surf better. I wish I had more free time. I wish I could speak French. I wish I won the lottery. I wish I had blonde hair. Wish plus past simple to talk about something you would like, but it's not very probable. Take advantage. Try to use that in the speaking and the writing. So what does part 5 look like? Well, you are given a text and you have a title of the text. And in the text, there are 5 gaps. So there are 5 questions. For each question, you have 4 possibilities. It is multiple choice. You've got A, B, C, or D. So for me, there are 3 things which count when it comes to doing this part 5. CCG, a little acronym for you to remember, context, collocation, and grammar. That's what it's all about. I explained this in a previous lesson. When we talk about context, we refer to the use of vocabulary in a certain context, whether the vocabulary fits. When we talk about collocation, we talk about words which go together. So an example could be, I am keen on surfing. In other words, I love surfing. Keen goes with on, or I am interested in helping you. Interested goes with in, and that's a collocation. These words go together. Finally, we've got grammar. You need your knowledge of grammar. You need B1 grammar down before you're ready to start this part of the exam. Okay? So let's take a look at an example and do it together. So looking at our example here, how can we apply this CCG, this context, collocation, and grammar? Well, let's take a look at the gaps and see at the options that we have. So number 1, London is famous. Its parks and gardens. We've got by, for, from, or with. Now here, we're talking very much about collocation, words which go together. So we always say something is famous for. London is famous for. Yeah. So collocation in action there. We can tick for. Let's move on to number 2. We'll read it. We'll read the before and after to help us. So some of them belong to the Crown, but they are all open to the public, and the entrance is free of charge. In St. James's Park, you can watch and swans, ducks, geese, and other water birds. So we've got a choice of verbs here: feed, eat, breed, or lead. Now this is very much related to context and your knowledge of vocabulary. Feed is to give food to. Eat is to eat yourself. Breed is to produce more or to encourage them to produce more. And lead is to direct people. So what are we going to do? We're not really going to eat the ducks, are we? So we should cross that off or eliminate that. We're not going to the park to breed ducks, geese, swans. We're not trying to get them to reproduce. That's not our job. And we are not going to lead the ducks or the swans or the geese. They're not going to follow us. They're not going to listen to us. So obviously the option here is feed, give food to. We know this from context, from our knowledge of B1 vocabulary. Now you can see that I eliminated the other options. They just do not work. Let's move down to number 3, which we've got should, which is for recommendation. Ought is also for recommendation. Used means that somebody makes use of it, and have, well, we can use have in many ways. So these words have a grammatical function generally. So here we're getting tested on our grammar. So reading before and after. Hyde Park to be a hunting ground and is still popular with horse riders. So if we look after, we've got this idea, it is still popular. We've got a present situation. We might now be referring to a past situation. Should is not used to talk about past situation. Should is recommendation. Ought is also recommendation. We can eliminate those two. Have is in the present tense. We might use have for obligation, but we're talking about a past situation here. We've established this from the context. So we've got used to, which we can use to refer to a past situation, as well as make use of something. Now that is a grammatical function. So here, your grammar knowledge comes in. So there we go. In that first paragraph, we've got CCG. We've got collocation, context, and grammar. The next use of English question in the exam is part 6. Everybody hates part 6. I get lots of students telling me, well, what can I do for part 6? What can I come up with? It's really hard. Let's break it down and let me see if you can help you and simplify it a little bit. Let's take a look first. Part 6, you've got a text with gaps. You have to think of the word that goes in the gap. So it's not that easy. However, there is something worth remembering, that the word in the gap can only be a grammar word. What am I talking about by a grammar word? I'm talking about a word that fulfills a grammatical function. I'll give you a few little examples now. Must. Must means obligation. I must go at 6 o'clock to my doctor's appointment. I have an obligation. Or I must complete reports for my lesson. I must relax more. I'm obliging myself. So must has a grammatical function. If, when we use conditionals, if the weather is nice, I will go to the beach, relax. It would be nice to go to a beach like this behind me. If the weather is not nice, I will work. If is part of a conditional, so this has a grammatical function, and yes, this is a grammar word. If the weather is nice, I will go to the beach. Now, there is another grammar word in there, will. Will serves the function. It talks about a future possibility. So these are examples of words which are grammar words. There are lots of different types of examples of grammar words. Let's have a look on this screen. Right, we've got 6 words here. Some of them are grammar words, some of them are not. Remember, a grammar word fulfills a grammatical function. Other words, names of places, activities, names of people, names of institutions, verbs which have a specific meaning. They are not grammar words. So let's have a look through them. Let's begin with have. Have is definitely a grammar word, as we said. We use have in the present perfect. We use have to express obligation. Would. What do you think? Yeah, would is a grammar word because we use would for the conditional. James. James is a name of somebody. That is not a grammar word. That is simply a name. That definitely wouldn't be a grammar word. Party. Something I love to do. Well, I used to like it. I'm getting older now, so I can't do it so much now. I have more responsibilities. But party is a verb or a noun, but it's not a grammar word. This is a word that has its own separate meaning. It's not part of a grammatical function. Next, the. The is a grammar word. The is an article. The car. It describes an object. We use it to precede a singular or a plural uncountable object? Last but not least, what do you think? Do you think this is a grammar word, or do you think this is not a grammar word? Football, something I love. This is an activity, so this is not a grammar word. We wouldn't put this in part 6. All right, so that summarizes the type of words we could use in the text and type of words we would avoid. Is it part of a grammatical structure? Does it make up a phrasal verb? Does it fulfill some kind of grammatical function? If it does, you can put it in the text, and if it doesn't, you can't. So let's have a look at this exercise, part 6, where we're going to apply our knowledge of these grammar words. Choose a word for the gap. So we always read before and after. This helps us form an understanding of the context of the text. We also get to see what grammar is coming before and after the gap. Absolutely essential. You cannot put something in a gap if you don't know what's before and after, because you are forming a grammatical structure with your word. Before and after, absolutely key. So let's do it. Dear Will, I hope you are well. I have finally returned to Thailand after 3 years away in the UK. Sounds like a nice trip, doesn't it? It is amazing to be back in Bangkok after long. I have really missed the place. Right. So we're going to have some kind of adverb with long. Something related to time. He might use so long, after so long. It's been such a long time, so we're going to use so long. So plus adjective. We could also use too here after too long. So let's continue. Let's have a look at the next one. The traffic is still pretty bad, but they improved the subway system. Right, we've got our subject here, they. Then we've got improved, which is a past participle. So we need something in the gap. Is they? We're going to use have. That is the present perfect tense. They have improved the subway system. So our knowledge here of the present perfects of different tenses, compound tenses, which use have, participle, comes into play. Let's have a look at one more. Last night, I went out to a nightclub, my friends. Okay. His friends came to the activity as well as him. There's one easy word here, with. You do something with someone else. In other words, that involves that person. That person participates the same as you. All right, we'll do the next two. Okay. The music was better than it used to be. It was a great night out. My parents sold their house, so we are outside the city. It is quieter at night before. All right. Quieter. What kind of word is that? That is a comparative. Now, when we make comparative sentences, we're going to use a comparative adjective like quieter and then something else. Let me give you another example. Manchester City, unfortunately, are better than Arsenal at the moment. Hopefully this changes by the time you see this video. But let's look at that sentence. Manchester City are better than Arsenal. We're always using than to make a comparative. If you know your B1 grammar, you should know this. So when you see that comparative adjective, we're going to use than. So that's the last one. Maybe you can have a go at the next two. And just remember, look at the gap and go into your mind, into your grammar matrix, your knowledge of grammar. Look at the words before and after to help form that global picture, and then put your word in. When you've finished part 6, go across to your answer sheet and remember that you have to write in capitals. So write nice and clearly. And I would say as well, be careful, try to write in your best handwriting. You might have a really funky style for your handwriting, really unique, but if it's hard to read, it could cause you problems. If the examiner is not 100% sure of the word you have written, You can't guarantee 100% that they are going to recognize that it is correct. So take a bit of time to make sure your handwriting is perfect. And remember, capitals, block capitals, not joined up writing, okay? I love making these videos. I love helping students with their English. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more videos, set the subscription, set your notifications, and you'll see more videos like this to help you through that PET preliminary grammar exams.